Welcome back to another week of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. This is a television show where we show you a lineup of people we're looking for and also ask for some help to solve some crimes. And during those times, we also have some guests that talk about some local issues. If you're watching this, it's Thanksgiving week, which is one of my favorite times of year. And you know, even though we've had the COVID, 2020 has just not seemed like a good year. Many different bad things have happened. We still have a lot to be thankful for. We live in America. We live in Calhoun County, and if you look around, you have many blessings that you could be thankful for, and try to keep the positive on that. Hopefully this Thanksgiving you can get around some family and you can enjoy some delicious Thanksgiving food. Some of my favorites is turkey and dressing, and unfortunately this year we won't be having any fried turkey because of the COVID at the sheriff's office. Hopefully next year we can start that back up where we do our turkey fry. But for me and everybody at the sheriff's office, we really hope you have a truly thankful Thanksgiving to start off our Christmas season, and so we can celebrate our Lord Jesus Christ during all of this. So we're going to have some guests on the show. It's going to go from the end of football season. Now wrestling season starts up, so we're going to have some wrestlers on here to show us some moves, and I promise you that they're not going to beat me up because I'm an old man, but hopefully we can count on that in just a few minutes. Stay tuned for the first half of the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Behind me is a gift card station. You may have seen one at any of the chain stores here locally. You've probably shopped at one. Unfortunately, way too many people in Calhoun County shop these for the wrong reason. As you can see, there are Amazon, iTunes, eBay, and PayPal cards, and many store brand cards. These are all gift cards. Keep in mind the word gift. These cards are not for paying a bill. They're not to pay for lottery winnings, and not to pay for a family member's bond or your bond to prevent an arrest. They should not be used to pay for something that you have found for sale on a Facebook yard sale ad or something on Craigslist. The utility companies or the Social Security office will not contact you to make payment for any reason by using a gift card. If you find an item for sale, be sure you see the item in person and verify the seller is legitimate. Remember, you never really know who is behind the computer screen selling a pet or a car or even renting a house or an apartment. You don't really know who this boyfriend or girlfriend is that you met online and have been corresponding with because they are stationed in the Middle East and trying to get back home. Unfortunately, we live in a digital age now, and you just don't know who you are dealing with, be it by computer, text messages, or an actual phone call. Don't talk to strangers. This is the same warning that we strongly advise our children. Weekly, I hear from folks who have been scammed out of their hard-earned money by purchasing these cards to give the card numbers to criminals. If you have been scammed or know someone who has been scammed, the best way to get the word out and warn others is for you to tell the story. If you need more information, you can call me, Nancy Hilton, at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office, 256-236-6600.
Welcome back to the first half of the lineup. This week we have Tracy Myers of Weaver, Alabama, failure to appear, obstruction of government operations. Richard Ward, Mumford, Alabama, failure to appear, possession of marijuana in the purse. Aaron Prater of Oxford, Alabama, possession of controlled substance, failure to pay. Lawrence Cooper of Anniston, Alabama, failure to appear, theft of property in the third. David Shell, Talladega, Alabama, probation revocation, receiving stolen property in the first. Lucas Adams, Pell City, Alabama, probation violation, theft of property in the second. If you have any information about these cases, please call 256-236-6600.
Welcome back to Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Hopefully you saw somebody in the lineup and you can give us a call and we can get them off the streets and keep our community a little bit safer. This week, you've never let us down. Our count goes up by 3 to 4,671 people put in jail, all because someone was willing to help us out. in the 15 years we've been doing this show, we've never had a week where you didn't give us information to arrest at least one person. And for that, we're definitely thankful, and we're thankful that you watch our show, and we're thankful for our community. So keep it up, and hopefully next week we'll have twice as many. But joining us for the show this week, football season's winding down. Football gets a lot of attention, but wrestling is a sport that's kind of up and coming, and all I know is I like to watch it on TV, the WWE, but this is not kind of the same thing, is it? It's a little bit different.
No, sir.
Benjamin Buchanan with the Ramburn wrestling team, and
sir.
Your head coach, Jason Meter. So it's good to have y'all on the show, and like to learn a little bit more about wrestling. I'd like to have a move to try on my wife at home so I can keep her in line. I don't know if that's possible or not, but it's good to have y'all on the show, and tell us a little bit about the Ramburn wrestling program.
Thank you. You want to go first?
Yeah, so I came into the program last year and took over the team, and came into a group full of guys that were just really talented, had a lot of experience, and we did very well in state and state duels. We're a 2A school. We wrestled 1 through 5A last year, and we made it to the state duels championship, first 2A school to do that in Alabama, and finished second runner-up, but we lost by 13 points to Arab, who is also the state champions in wrestling as a team. We went to state.
Arab's a little bigger than 2A, isn't it?
They're 6A now. So that was what we ran into at state. We went to state, and we wrestled 1 through 5A at state, finished third as a team, missed second place by 2.5 points as a team, took 7 to state, placed 5 in the top 5, had 2 state champions and 1 runner-up. Ben was 39-0 as a heavyweight, went undefeated, and then we had 195-pounder Christian Smith that also went undefeated as well, and then Carson Hall, our 9th grader last year, lost by 2 points to the state champion.
How long has Ramburn had a wrestling team? Has it had a long time? Or is it kind of
I think that was the 10th year.
Yeah, 10 years.
I know where my kids go to school, I think they've only had a wrestling team maybe 5 or 6 years. So wrestling's been around a long time. I'm just not sure that it's been as common here in the South as maybe it is in other places, but it's definitely a physical sport.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
So with that being said, wrestling's a little different too, in the sense that in football, when you go for state championships, it's Alexandria is a 5A, they're going to play all 5A teams, but that's not so in wrestling, is it?
Right, that's correct. They changed the classification this year, so we're 1 through 4A now. Had they had done this last year, we're state champions, the team would have been. So it's kind of disheartening in a way, but I was proud of my guys. I mean, for us to go in there and do like we did at state was amazing. They really just grinded and worked hard and bought into what my belief system is in wrestling, my philosophy and our work ethic, and they just grinded all the time and gave it all they had.
So how many kids do you coach?
This year we have 24.
24 kids.
Yes, sir.
So, a lot of people might watch this, or kids that are watching this and think about wrestling. This wrestling is not the same as TV wrestling.
No, sir.
So
no.
give me some points of what high school wrestling is.
So high school wrestling we do is called folk style wrestling. So folk style wrestling is what high school athletes do, and it's obviously not like what you see on TV. You can't hit people with chairs and all that kind of stuff.
So it takes the fun out of it.
Takes the fun out of it, right? Yeah, it's a little bit safer, but the conditioning and stuff that comes with it is a huge demand. It's more conditioning really than anything else, because if you can get your technique down pretty decent, but you have the conditioning maxed out, you'll do really good in wrestling. Weight control is a big deal, because we wrestle by weight class. So that's something else you don't deal with in football. Football, you might have a 150-pound running back, well, he's going against a linebacker that weighs 240. In wrestling, it's not that way. Heavyweight division, they go from 220 up to 285 is the max. But you have, all your weight classes from 106 to 285. So you're paired off by your weight class.
So what would a typical wrestling match consist of? Football, we know it's 4 quarters. It's 60 minutes in theory. There's timeouts. We know the point system is a touchdown is 7 points, a field goal is 3, a point after attempt is 1. How is wrestling in the same sense? How do you score in wrestling? I know you can pin somebody.
Right.
We'll watch WWE. I mean, you
right.
pin somebody,
yeah,
you win,
that's
right?
right.
So is that the only way you can win is a pin, or do you
No.
get points? How does that work?
Point system, you can tech fall somebody, which is where you win by 15 points. So if you outpoint your opponent, your point systems, you get back points, takedowns, reversals, escapes. You could be technically violating, like locking hands, things like that. That'll cost you a point. Unsportsmanlike conduct can even give a teammate a point as well.
So if you do a move, you know, if you do some type of move, if you flip somebody over and put them on their back, you get a point.
You get near fall points, so they do a count, so you can get 2 or 3 as the max. And then of course you can stick them, so it all, you know, builds up, but in time the best thing you want is you want a pin.
So do you win when you get to a certain amount of points, or is it a timed event?
You've got 3 periods, each 2-minute period, and you can't go into overtime. And the overtimes they can get pretty interesting.
So you basically have 3 rounds of 2 minutes apiece.
Right.
So 6 minutes of wrestling is pretty physical. It don't sound like a lot, but 2 minutes of wrestling is a lot to do. But you know, as we wrestle and learn about wrestling, we got to wrestle with a break. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. But we want you to see the second half of the lineup. Hopefully you see somebody. If you're watching this during Thanksgiving, we'll still be at work. Give us a call. We'll come pick them up. So stay tuned for the rest of Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Welcome back to the second half of the lineup. We have Stephanie Pope of Piedmont, Alabama, bond revocation, possession of controlled substance, use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Caitlin Chandler of Oxford, Alabama, unauthorized use of vehicle, criminal mischief in the third. Kiana Griffin, Dothan, Alabama, failure to appear, possession of forged instrument in the third. Thomas Bird of Oxford, Alabama, failure to appear, possession of marijuana in the second. Brandon Whittingham of Anniston, Alabama, probation revocation, assault in the third. Tarika Brewer of Talladega, Alabama, probation violation, theft of property in the third for shoplifting. Patricia Bearden of Weegoofa, Alabama, probation violation, possession of controlled substance. If you have any information about these cases, please call 256-236-6600.
Welcome back to Calhoun County's Most Wanted Thanksgiving edition. Hopefully you might be watching this and eating some turkey or some good dressing or maybe some kind of pecan pie. I hope you are, because that's what I'm doing on this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, we'll work on the diet after this week, right? Well, maybe after Christmas,
Yeah.
New Year's, somewhere along that line. But
Well,
wrestlers
it'll
have
take
to
a while.
stay in shape, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
You have to
all the
keep-
time.
Well, you can tell by me I'm not a wrestler. But we're back to second half of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Bam Bam Buchanan. I'm sorry, Benjamin. I've
Yes,
already got your wrestle
Benjamin.
name
Yeah,
for you.
you
I'm
already
telling
got it down for
you. So
me.
he's talking off stage. So tell us a little bit what it's like to become a wrestler. I mean, what made you decide, hey, I want to go wrestle?
Well, in middle school, started amateur wrestling. Middle school, I think it was like 6th grade. I usually played rec basketball because my dad, he went to college to play basketball. In 6th grade, I decided not to play basketball anymore, and I was
Broke his heart.
Yeah, oh yeah. I sat down in the classroom, and over the intercom, they said, if you want to join a wrestling team, go to the cafeteria, pick up the sheets and everything, and sign up for it. I skipped and just went on with my day. And my science teacher came into our English classroom and basically forced me to go down there and sign the paperwork. Signed it, and that's when I started. After that first day, I just knew.
So we're looking back at your science teacher.
Yeah.
Glad or mad?
Oh, glad.
Glad. So
Oh,
you're
yeah.
saying a teacher made a difference in your life?
Oh yeah, that little difference right there.
Absolutely.
For nearly 10 years, it's caused a difference.
Probably a lifetime difference.
Oh yeah, lifetime.
So really wasn't necessarily, I mean, it's something you thought about, but your teacher kind of encouraged you to do it. And
It wasn't really encouraging. It was mostly, hey, if you don't go, I'm taking you to the office and blaming you for something that you didn't even do. So it was more of a, instead of a little, encouragement, more of a shove. So but
that was in 6th grade.
6th grade.
So tell me about your 6th grade year wrestling. What, how do you get started? I mean, did they show you moves? I mean,
Well, with my dad being a pro wrestler, used to be a pro wrestler. Yeah, he used to wrestle for the WWE.
So you didn't break his heart.
No, I didn't. When I thought of amateur wrestling, I thought of pro wrestling. So I thought, I was getting the boots. I was becoming a pro wrestler. So I told him,
I'd have wanted a mask.
yeah, we're getting a ring. We're going to do it. He's like, no. There's no ropes or anything. This is way different. They bought me some wrestling shoes, and I thought, I don't know what these are for, but okay. But I got on the mat, of course, there's the pro wrestling jokes of how you lock up and everything. But, 6th grade year, brutal. They showed me all the fundamentals, but usually you know, with the 8th graders and even seniors from high school coming in, just throwing you around, you know, stretching you out, and you go out there and you wrestle all these schools like Bremen. This is in Georgia. I was in Bowden, Georgia. So you're wrestling schools like Bremen, Georgia, Mountain Zion, all the really good wrestling schools, and they're just throwing you around. So 6th grade is more of a learning lesson and more of a beat down as well to lead up for my following years.
Sure.
But I'm kind of glad I got those beat downs because now I learned.
Well, if you come in and all you know is victory,
Yeah.
you know, everybody needs a little taste of defeat and victory.
yeah.
You know, there's lessons to be learned in both. You
Yeah.
know, if you ever lose, it'll make you want to win twice as bad.
Oh, yeah.
So with that being said, how hard was it to learn those moves? Was it something that intimidated you? I mean, kids that might be watching that might want to start wrestling, I mean, what's the best advice you can give them?
Just train. You don't have to have a partner to train around. You can get, like, there's videos on YouTube from the top wrestlers in the world, like Jordan Burroughs, showing how to do a stance, how to do double legs. It's very easy now than it was even a few years ago, or nearly 10 years ago when I was in 6th grade. But yeah, it was intimidating because you got all these big guys in here who know what they're doing, that could easily, you know, could break a bone or something, that could easily stretch you out, and you're just new and you're like 12 years old and you're trying to learn this. So it's intimidating, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes easy.
Well, sports in general is something that gives people many life lessons. You know, it teaches people that you don't always get your way. It teaches people if you work really hard, you can be successful. It teaches people also what it's like to work with others, and that as a team, you can do better than you can as a single person. And in America, we need a lot more of that.
Oh, yeah.
There's too many people sitting on the internet and social media sites who have all the answers, but they're not going out and interacting with other people and learning how to live. We were designed to be around other people. We're not designed to live alone. And team sports is better. It makes better citizens, makes better people.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times sports will take you on to furthering a career. You know, how can wrestling do things? It can make you a better employee in a lot of different ways, and sometimes it can even offer opportunities later in life. Coach Meter here is, you know, I'm sure you wrestled in high school, and here it is, you know, a good career out of that. So,
yes, sir.
You ever thought about having any career opportunities from wrestling?
I'm actually now a pro wrestler as well, and amateur wrestling helped me with that. My whole childhood, that's what I basically lived upon, was pro wrestling because of my dad. So when I started amateur wrestling, I saw that's an opening for pro wrestling, you know, and now I'm getting to live that dream. But I have thought about.
So as pro wrestler, when you say you're pro, that means that you're going to have the opportunity to make money from wrestling.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, in all reality, in amateur wrestling, you can't really make that much money. There's nothing really, unless you're one of the best in the world, you can make a good living, but not, then you're not going to. But I've also looked at coaching. I've been helping out coaching for these past few weeks now that the season started. But actually, me and my dad, we thought about opening an amateur wrestling gym for kids around the area so they can have somewhere to work at.
Well, you can do anything when you try hard enough, and wrestling is one of those physical contact sports that can build your confidence and can also make you a better citizen. Thank y'all. Thank you for coaching. Thank you for investing in others. Hopefully I'll get to see Bam Bam Buchanan on TV one day on pro wrestling, but we have to take a break. Thank you for watching this next segment of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, where we ask for your help to solve some crimes. Please stay tuned, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Welcome back to this week's segment of Property Crimes. On November 16, 2020, a burglary was reported at a residence located on PD Road in Lincoln, Alabama. The front door was forced open and damaged. Between November 14th and November 17th, 2020, a burglary occurred at a residence on Gray Harrelson Road in Piedmont, Alabama. A deep well submersible pump was stolen. If you have any information about these cases, please call 256-236-6600.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Welcome back to Calhoun County's Most Wanted. This is our crazy criminal. Doesn't really have a wrestling theme, but we got a guy named Peter Kelly. bring him up on the screen. I'm sorry, Douglas Kelly. Douglas there had smoked him some methamphetamines that he bought from a guy, and he just thought it wasn't right. He thought something was wrong with it. The guy sold him some bad drugs, so he called Putnam County Sheriff's Office and asked them to test his drugs because he wanted his dealer to be in trouble for selling him bad meth. Well, Putnam County did what any good sheriff's office would do and asked him to come on down, and they did test his drugs, which was in fact meth, and they arrested him and put him in jail for possession of methamphetamines with a $5,000 bond. So, you know, they call it dope for a reason. Doesn't mean you're stupid. It just makes you do bad things and stupid things. So this Thanksgiving season, don't do any dope. Be a good person, and hopefully we'll see you next week, but just not in the lineup.